Hey guys, welcome back to the house. So listen, we got to go ahead and talk about tonight's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not going to go into the details, but we just have to talk about this dinner. So earlier in the episode, we get this little scene between Ralph and Drew Sidora, where Drew is kind of feeling a ways at the fact that Ralph at one point in time said that he was going to adopt Drew Sidora's son, who she had with another man. But Ralph ended up having a conversation with the boy's father, biological father, and he wasn't really feeling that. So he's kind of backed off of that idea. At the same time, he is writing this self-help book, I believe, about step parenting. And Drew, you can tell in the confessionals, is feeling a ways, not only at the fact that he's kind of changed his mind about the adoption, which I'm not really understanding. To me, as long as Ralph being the best step parent that he can be to the son is his number one priority. I don't really understand why the rest of the stuff matters, but that's my personal opinion. If you're a parent or, whatever, and you have experience in that, please educate me on why y'all believe it's important for Ralph to adopt the boy, because I would love to know. But not only does Drew feel a ways about that, but she also feels a way at the fact that Ralph Pittman has, carved out his own time away from his wife to, write this book. And she feels like, no, I should be in on it. I feel like you should be consulting me and I should know more about the situation. I just kind of feel like, no, Drew, you need to let your man do his thing. Okay. And when he's ready to bring you on, he will bring you in. All right. So now that we've prefaced this dinner with that whole situation, Marlo or somebody. So fast forward, the girls go to Jamaica, right? Remember, this is a couple's trip. Kenya got very upset at Sonia Riches-Ross because she felt like Sonia was trying to embarrass her because she knew that Kenya was single. Why are you inviting me and mandating that I bring a +1 knowing that I'm single, sis? Right? Well, Kenya's +1 ends up being sick, but she meets John, who's a cutie patootie. Okay, John from England, nice little build on him. Okay, John is a cutie. They had to do a U-turn in the damn golf cart to go get John's number and invite him to dinner. Okay, the Jamaican dinner from hell, honey. Okay, because it was a whole shade fest between Marlo Hampton, Todd Tucker, and Kandi Burruss Tucker. The Tuckers versus Miss Hampton. Round 3, let's go. But no, Kenya's +1 was sick. Marlo brings her florist, which I thought, Marlo, you can come better than that. I was very disappointed in the situation. Sheree, also very disappointed. She brings Michelle. But okay, cool. Let's see what else happens. So then that night, we get to the dinner, right? And what's really interesting is that Marlo is kind of slick, grilling Ralph Pittman on the fact that he's, I guess, reneged on the plan to adopt Josiah, right? Now, Marlo was like, I come from the foster care system, so this is a very sensitive subject for me. And she kind of feels triggered by the fact that he says that he did say that he was going to adopt the little boy. And now he's saying that he's not because the biological father really isn't feeling a ways. And I just kind of feel like, why is Ralph getting the brunt of everybody's aggression when everyone's attention should be on the absent biological father? But listen, that's a different conversation for a different day, right? So Marlo's basically grilling Ralph, and she's kind of offended at the fact that, he's no longer adopting the child. So then Kandi goes, girl, I feel like it's kind of weird that you're going so hard on Ralph. And Kenya goes, yeah, it's really weird. And then that's when Marlo kind of just snapped. And y'all, I was here for it. I'm not going to lie. I was here for it. I feel like Marlo rebutting Kandi. I almost forgot her name, child. Like, what's the girl name? Marlo rebutting Kandi in this moment was perfect timing. I felt like at the sauna, why the hell was you going in on Kandi? I felt like, in episode 3, 4, 5 at the Jamaica dinner, there was no reason for you to say that Kandi's dating below her tax bracket and you are, you're effed out in Atlanta. And all of this stuff, the PUSSY wasn't good. There was no need for that. But I felt like Marlo finally had her perfect moment to go toe-to-toe with Kandi. And I felt like it was more organic than those other moments because I could see why Marlo was slick kind of offended at the fact that Kandi and Kenya had their side conversations talking about what you're saying is weird, right? Even though what she was saying was weird. So Marlo basically said, well, I don't really care what y'all think is weird. I find it weird that you put your mama before your man. Ooh. Marlo said, I find it weird that your mother belittles Todd. Ooh. And Kandi's like, how do you know that my man feels belittled? Now listen. Does Mama Joyce put her mother before her man? I don't really know. Okay, I think she loves both of them. I feel like that's up for interpretation. It's up for anyone's opinion. I feel like that's not a fact. However, I think it's a pretty good assumption to say that Todd probably has felt belittled by Kandi's mom. Okay, so listen. Marlo might be onto something here. Then Kandi brings up the nephews. Dun, dun, dun. She brings up the nephews. And I'm like, hold up. I thought the kids were off limits. What happened to the kids are off limits? But you actually know what? This conversation started off with us talking about Josiah. So it kind of makes sense that the conversation or the arguments are going to end with talking about the kids. Okay, so this is like the first argument on a Housewives show where I kind of don't think that the kids being off limit is appropriate in this moment, right? Because we're already talking about Josiah, so let's just talk about the nephews too. Let's talk about Kandi's kids too. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, then Kandi brings up the nephew. She's like, I find it weird that you're pressing Ralph about whether he's going to adopt the boy or not when you have your own situation dealing with the nephews. You gave your nephews away, boo. You gave them away to the sister who already has 4 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, Kandi did tell the truth now. She ain't lie. And that ain't her opinion. That's nothing but facts. You are steady worried about Ralph and Drew. Meanwhile, you got your own problems and you have a whole hole in the wall. You have a whole hole in the wall that you ain't fixed yet, hun. Fix them teeth. Fix your face. Fix that wall. No. Okay. So Kandi brings up the nephews and then Marlo says, girl, you're not even with your kids. You work too much. Ooh. Girl. And then Todd says, Marlo, you're a fraud. How did you get into this group? Marlo goes, what do you mean, how did I get into this group? Todd said, you bought your way into this group. And y'all know Todd used to be a producer. And y'all, this argument, this shade fest ran so deep that they started playing back flashbacks from 10 years prior on the Africa trip when Kandi and Todd first met. Todd said, you bought your way into this group. You wasn't nobody's friend. And then Marlo said, I came through Phaedra. Okay, Todd, know the real tea. Spill it. Spill it, Todd. Okay, we want to know. We want to know more. And then Marlo says, Todd, 10 years ago in Africa, was talking shit about Kandi before they started dating, saying she's a country bumpkin. Now, at this point, Marlo, you grasping, you're reaching. I mean, what kind of shade was that? Who cares? Marlo, really? Oh, God. And then Todd says that Marlo is a clown. Then Kandi says Marlo is a lying-ass bitch. And then Marlo says, Kandi, you're no one. You're only known in Atlanta. And Kandi said, bitch, I'm worldwide. Yo, what in the hell is going on? Now, Marlo, I felt like Kandi was actually coming at you with some true tea. Everything she said about you, everything that Todd and her said about you was facts. You came in with opinions. You said that she put the mama first before her husband. That's your opinion. That's not a fact. Okay? You're saying that, what else did she say? I don't know. The thing about you're only known in Atlanta, I thought that was just stupid. Just stupid. Now, I'm not even the biggest Kandi fan, but Kandi's definitely the most famous and most successful person on this damn show. Then Kenya, and then everybody else is a free-for-all. I feel like depending on what you're into, whatever niche of pop culture you're into, you may think that Sonia Richards-Ross is a big deal. You may think that Drew Sidora is a big deal. You may think that Sheree Whitfield. I think Sheree is big in reality TV. Drew is big in her own right when it comes to acting. Sonia is big in her own right when it comes to sports. Hold on. So depending on what you're into, Sonia might be the Beyonce of the group or Sheree might be the Beyonce of the group. I don't know. But I think we can collectively agree that number one is Kandi for the current cast and number two is Kenya, in my opinion. So her talking about some bitch you only known in Atlanta and then her saying, bitch, I'm worldwide. You can tell that really struck a nerve with sis. I mean, I'm going to have to side with, dang, I don't know. They both got some good licks in. It's a draw. I think it's a draw. I think Marlo dragged them. But Kandi held her own. I'm proud of Kandi. Kandi held her own and she did not cry. And then Todd started stuttering a little bit, talking about some throwing money in Africa and this, that, and that. I'm like, okay, Todd, Kandi had it. Kandi, I'm proud of Kandi. Like, I was feeling Kandi in this episode because I'm like, yes, like, drag her, sis, drag her. But Marlo held her own and didn't need a man to do it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day.